just picked up 3 packages of bees here at Hudson Valley Bee Supply. And I got instructions. So it's a package of bees and a queen, marked queen in each package. And I gotta get them home and make up some sugar syrup and get them into the hive. Okay, so I just returned from Hudson Valley Bee Supply with 3 bee packages. Which I'm going to install later today. Hopefully the rain will hold off, because that's not going to make installing or filming any easier. But I have CAD work I have to finish first. Because we got to do our work before we do our play. Even though this is kind of work too, but lower priority. But anyway, they're beautiful bees and they're buzzing so nicely on the way home, and I got them in here where they're not too hot, not too cold, out of the wind for now, and hopefully we can get them in soon. There are queens in each of these packages as well, in a queen cage. I'll show that more later. And the queens are marked, so that's nice. Alright, so it's a little after 6. It's been a long day, and it's nowhere near over. But I gotta get these bee colonies installed. We got rain coming shortly. That's where our queen and cage will go. And to be fair, I've never installed bee packages before. I've always had bees that I carried over from the previous season or splits that I did. I have installed a queen once. I did that incorrectly, killed the queen. So hopefully I get this right. And put foundations back out of the way over here. All right. There's our beautiful bee packages. So there's a, you can see that there's a board on top here. There's a sugar can inside here for them to feed on, and a queen cage and queen as well, along with the bee population. So I'll set these on each of the hives in preparation to drop them in. Sticky, sticky. Hello, ladies. All right. Okay, here we go. I'm suited up. Capture angle, throw on gloves. I probably don't even need to suit up, but I don't know how their behavior is, and I'm sure they're a bit angsty after traveling all the way up from, I think they came from Tennessee originally. So they've been in a box for at least 24 hours, maybe longer. I don't know how long it takes them to get back. Imagine they run express overnight drive, switching drive operators or something, but I don't know that. So we're gonna get these guys in. Let's do it. I need a tool for that. So we take the cover off of this, we pull the queen out, we use this rubber band here to tag the queen cage to the frame. We set the frame in the middle, and we set the feeder on top. Pretty straightforward. The queen is tagged on with the black plastic. She's in here. I'll just show you quick. There's a cork plug on the end and there's a candy plug behind that. So I got to pull this cork plug out without hurting one of my ladies. I don't know what I'm going to get that out with. That's not coming out, that's going in. Which I think I gotta... Something like unzipping my chute in the middle of something, but I do need to get a tool I can get that out with out. And then zip right back up. And I think that's not it. Where's my little poker one? There we go. I think that might do it. So now you can see the candy plug behind it. And I'll show you a close-up of the queen. I hope the camera focuses. But she's marked. You can see she's color marked. So then we take a frame. That one's kind of occupado already. We take an empty frame and we set the queen facing downward, screen side down. And we take a rubber band and we secure that in place, and they'll eat their way out through the candy plug. And then we drop that down in there. I can't even see where they're going to feed now. And then we want to get our bees in. It might seem rough, but you got to tap them down. So they'll fall out. And I'll probably give that another tap and shake in a minute. But for now, we need one of these empty, or mostly partially empty, so we can fit a feeder in. We'll take these out. Can't get the phone on that. And we're going to drop this empty hive body without crushing any pretty ladies down here. And then we stick a feeder in. So this is a feeder jar full of 1-to-1 sugar syrup. So that's 1-to-1 by volume. For reference, 1.25 gallons of water to 10 pounds of hot water, boiling water. Mix it, let it cool so you don't burn the bees, and that's your sugar syrup. Fall is different. Fall we feed 2-to-1. This is spring feed. And it just goes upside down in the hive. And let me see if I get the phone unlocked here, because I really want to get you a close-up of that. There we go. So just to give you the close-up, feeder on top, upside down. There's tiny little holes in the tops of those. It seems like they would just leak out. But it causes a vacuum after a little bit leaks, and then as they use it, a little air bubble comes back up. So there it is with the queen cage, screen side down, strapped to the foundation frame, and one frame removed so there's room for that, and the colony. And they're checking it out. Now we'll get it closed up. Oh, are you thanking me? You're welcome, ladies. You're welcome. I'll let you out of the cage, huh? Yeah, look out, sweetheart. I'll crush you. Alright, so that's the inner cover. Oh, and I guess... yeah, I guess that feeder could go on top here. But we're going to leave it where it is for now. I just want to get everybody established. Oh, did I crush you? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, so one in. Oh. I probably should shake these out, actually. Another clip. So just a minute, ladies, just a minute. We just gotta make sure everybody's in the house. So at least everybody knows to go in the house. And actually, I think we're going to set that. I don't really want to crush these. I'm going to leave it here in front of the entrance. They'll find their way in. They know the queen smell real well. They'll track to her pheromones real fast. Okay, ladies, look out. Now look out. Look out, we're coming in. Okay. All right. Next. Rubber band ready to go. So top off. Come upside down. Gently and slowly remove our feeder can. Try not to crush too many bees. Let the rest of the bees drop out, because that's what they do. Okay. So next queen. Same deal. Gotta pull that cork plug out. Take one of these. Strap her in all safe and sound. Gently and carefully install our queen. Now we got to drop our bees in. Come on, ladies, it's time. We'll just set this one in front. We're going to empty another one of these of 4.
So just a couple of notes that we're going to fix later in this video. I should have put those inner covers, that's just the board type cover, that should have gone down in the bottom box, between the bottom box and the next box up. And then the feeder should sit on that hole in the middle. And not having done this before, I missed that detail. But going back and reviewing the video as I'm editing, I'm realizing that. And the day we were out there, the day I was out there doing the install, it was like 80 some degrees. Part of why you see me unpacking those boxes with my shirt off, because I was just cooking. I'm not used to warm weather yet. But it's cooler today, and I'm going to want to make sure that that heat is retained down the bottom box to keep the colony warm. So I'm going back up there a little while today, and I'm going to change that out. And you'll see that later in this video. So just keep that in mind as a context reference as we go forward.
Two away. One more to go. I guess I should have set these off to the side. Same deal. Pull the cork out of the way of the candy plug. Installed, set up, fed, inside an electric fence where they're protected, in brand new beautiful boxes. Hopefully they'll settle in and be totally happy. We got queen excluders on the bottom so the queen can't escape and therefore abscond. And we'll leave that for I think about a week, I think is the right amount of time for that. And then the queen excluder will come off the bottom and go on top of the bottom box. And then our honey boxes will go on top of that. And that way the queen can't get up into the honey boxes and lay brood in the honeycomb, because we don't want brood in our comb because it spoils the honey if you process it like that. So you want to keep all the brood in the bottom. It's gonna rain. I don't really want to go. Capped with honey, covered in bees, super productive. I have a feeling this whole hive colony is full of bees. And look at that beautiful brood pattern there. So I'll just give you a close-up here as they're on the entrance. Here's a good example. There's one. There's a few with their hind quarters in the air. Whoops. Focus. There we go. You can see how they stick their butt up in the air and they lock on and they flap hard. And that airflow spreads that pheromone around so that all the bees from that colony can find this colony. And there it is, and I guess I'll just show you the top of one of these feeder jars quick. Very fine holes in it, kind of like screen size or smaller. So that's that. Honeybees are installed. We got rain coming tonight and tomorrow, so hopefully they'll be okay. It's not supposed to be too cold. They were supposed to come on April 4th or 5th. And they pushed it back because of the cold weather we had. And we actually had snow on the 13th of April, or the 11th, one of those. Way later than we usually have, a couple inches. So it's good that we held off, and it gave me time to get the electric fence up and get some clearing done and figure out where they were going. Yep, that rain line's headed at us pretty quick. So excellent timing. On the way back to check up on the bees. Rain just started as I was getting to the truck about 5 minutes ago. So here we are back at the hives at night, quick, about 11:30. And just see the light on the camera here. Yeah, looking calm and happy. You probably can't see it very well on the camera, but those bee package cages are all empty of bees. So the bees have moved in. We got a close spot here that's arcing on the fence. So there's no question that's working. So I would say things are in good order. Bee colonies look calm and quiet. Everybody looks happy. Good enough. Tomorrow we'll come back and check their feed. So it's just about 2 o'clock the next day. Rained all night last night. Still raining now. And overnight, everything went blooming. And the flowers, the tree flowers, burst into flower. So our timing is excellent. It's supposed to clear out later today. It'll be a little bit cooler, but nice tomorrow. And so that should be our first opportunity for the honeybees to go out and forage. So the rain just let up about half an hour, 45 minutes ago. I just got here. And look at all that beautiful hive activity. Oh man. And you can see they're kind of forming directional flight patterns. And I'm guessing they're out foraging already. They're hitting flowers. We got lots of trees and early season flowers blooming out. Just popped off with the rain that we had overnight. It literally went from just tips of green showing yesterday overnight to full open green. And it's kind of hard to tell here because we got so many cedars around, but it just blew up. So that's awesome. Hi, sweetheart. One flying around checking me out. And I guess we'll take you in on the entrances here. It's so satisfying to hear that happy working buzz that they make, and to see all these bees flying in and out. I think we got a successful install so far, so that's awesome. And I brought along that 8-frame deep box to go in on top of this one so we can get the new feeder in. I'm not sure if I want to mess with that today with all the mud. I don't really want my bee suit and everything covered in mud. And I know if I let it drain a day, it'll be much more conducive to that. And I think those feeders have enough sugar in them to get them through till tomorrow. There's a nice warm south spring breeze. The air is damp and moist. Smells like cedar in the soil and plants blooming. I feel like I'm starting to settle in on this farm. I can't wait to get our fence in and get some vegetable crops going and really get things cranking. But this is a very satisfying experience. Right. Well, we definitely see some warmth there, so that's nice. We'll take a side view here. And I guess we'll look at this arc here and see. Yep. All right, we'll work our way. We're on the north side now. Now we're on the east side. Oh, look at that. Cluster in the top back on that one. Hard to tell on these two more. This one may be toward the back a little bit as well. But my guess is they're more toward the center of the hive, which is why the whole box is warm. Whereas this one looks like they're right up against the back of the hive. Quite a bit of warmth there. But anyway, I thought we would take a look in thermal and just see how they look. Actually, there you go. There's a hot spot there. So Sunday, April 27th. Back to check on the bees. And looking at the thermometer on the way up here on the car, it's about 53 degrees out. So that's why you're not seeing a lot of activity here. Cool and fairly windy too, so not the best flying conditions. And on up here, we're going to change out that medium super for a deep super, which I brought with me. And we're going to move those inner covers down on top of the first box. So we're keeping all the colony heat down in the lower box. That was a mistake I made, but it was pretty warm out the other day and yesterday too. So it wasn't so bad then, but being that it's cooler out today and it's supposed to go to 44 tonight, we want to make sure they can retain all their heat. So I'm just going to throw on my suit quick and take care of that. So I got my bee suit on part way. Wow, look how warm those bees are outside. I just thought we'd take a look at it with a thermal camera before I put the inner cover on. And then later we'll take another look at it after I get the inner cover on the bottom box where it should be. I imagine we'll see quite a difference in thermal signature. You'll see that heat down in the bottom box and not spread out so much. Yeah, there's a hot spot there. Remember the feeders in the back on this one. I think they're hanging around that. So first we'll get you a shot with the colony. You can see they're working up those combs thermal. Just so you can see how warm they are. You can see how even the sugar feeder is fairly cool compared to the colony cluster there. All right, I got my suit on. Again, I probably don't even need that today, but always good to be cautious. You have to remember, if one bee stings you, that releases a pheromone that makes all the other bees aware that there's a colony intrusion, and they'll start looking for you to sting you. Doesn't always work out in a bad way. Usually they don't attack you in mass, but I don't want that right in the beginning of the season at least. So So we'll observe proper procedures, so to speak. All right, we'll check the medium box first.
Yes, we heard. Don't mind me. Gonna pop the cover off quick here.
Also, I didn't bring a smoker. Probably should have, but oh boy. We gotta get you a shot of that. It's open for too long. But I wanted you to see. Remember, I stuck the sugar cans in here because I couldn't fit the full-size feeder in. They're clustered right around those cans. Nice and close. So I'm gonna pull those cans out. And we'll put the inner cover on. We'll set the feeder on top of it. Top like that. Full depth goes on like that. And that's how it's supposed to work. That'll keep the heat of the colony down in the bottom box, which is where we want the heat when it's cool out like this. Especially as we're establishing a new colony. They don't have the thermal mass in the honey, they don't have the honey resources, all they have is sugar right now. They gotta draw a comb out on those frames and then collect pollen and nectar and start building up their colony. It takes some time to do that. That's box one. We're gonna set our escape. I guess we'll just check it here. So it's here when I need it. We'll go to box two, do the same. Switch out. Hopefully they're not. They are already. Oh wow, they're drawing comb out already. We gotta get you a shot. Just give me a shot. They're actually. This is another reason we need to put that bottom cover in place. They're already starting to draw a comb out on these boards. That's what all that white is on the surface there. They're actually drawing comb already. So that's encouraging. But we gotta get that off for now. That chain. So strong it blew my camera over. Hopefully it'll stay now. I gotta get it closed up, okay? Can't get you a close up on this one, sorry. Just gotta get it closed up. It's too cold and windy. I want my bee babies freezing. lets us do is switch out feeders, fill up the last hive, number 3. We have a nice active cluster in there. You can tell they're already starting to draw a comb out. We saw that on that second hive we opened. And overall, they're looking pretty happy and healthy. And we'll just switch this inner cover down on the bottom again and close it back up, and then they should be good. And I got to top up their feed either later tonight or tomorrow. This one looks okay. That other one was about halfway through, so probably tomorrow we'll top it up. Okay, we just did it, so we're probably not going to see a thermal result just yet. It'll take a little while for the heat to build up in that bottom box, but we'll check it again later. And they should be much more comfortable and much more set up for a winter with that setup. All right, so that's it. That's good checkup. They have good clusters inside the hives. The one we saw them starting to draw a comb out, even though it was up in the second box. We got that straightened out. We got our inner cover down on top of the first box to hold all the heat in and hold all the bees in. And the queen should start laying in 7 to 14 days or so, from my understanding. And she'll lay somewhere around 1,000 eggs a day pretty quickly. So our colony size will expand dramatically in the next month or two. I'll see if I can dig up a chart from Ian Stepler from some research organization in Canada. You can see bee populations, how quickly they skyrocket in the spring and how low they drop in the fall for the overwintering. It's quite fascinating. So that's it for now. I hope you found this interesting or informative, and I hope you learned from my little mistakes here, so you don't make them if you keep bees. Thanks for watching the Pharmacy Seeds Network. I guess I'll just mention this briefly. Upon arriving, I found that darn wind knocked over my solar panel because I haven't mounted it to anything yet, and my charger's not running. Probably a dead battery between the rain and crappy weather and the solar panel getting knocked over. So I have another solar panel that's bigger that I'm going to bring up here to make sure that stays charged, and I'll have to pull that back down to the house and charge it up and bring it back up. So I might actually have to run home and throw that on the charger before I come back to do more work. Just want you to get a clip of that wind so you can see just how hard it's blowing. So you wouldn't know with the green, that sun out just popped out now as I was turning the camera on, actually. But it's super windy, and it's 55 degrees out, but man, it feels like 45 with that gusting wind. So I went home and charged up the battery. I'm going to stick that back on the electric fence so our bees are protected from bear. And we're going to let these guys settle in. I'll grab a thermal shot here. It's been like 5-6 hours. I went home and worked on the 8N, 9N tractor, getting that ready for the season. I actually made some good progress on that. My friend Dave gave me a hand on that the other day. So that's getting closer to ready to go. A few more things to do. But I just thought I would come back up and check on them and get one more thermal imaging shot. Although I may have to wait for the sun to lay off, or maybe we'll just go on the other side of the hives with it. Just wanted to draw to a conclusion here. It's Sunday, April 27th. It's like 5:30 or 6, getting close to sunset. The bees seem to be clustered up nicely inside those hives. Everything seems to be progressing in orderly fashion, shall we say. And I'm quite satisfied for now. Tomorrow I'll come back and give these guys a feed top up, and we'll carry on. They're drawing comb out from what we saw, and that's exciting, and we should be rocking for the season. Okay, so here we are with the thermal imaging. The sun is fading on and off. You can really see the effect of the sun on the hill behind the hives. On that dry material on top of the ground there. Hard to really get a gauge of anything Well, it's still so warm and sunny out. But you can see a cluster there on that left hive. And a little bit on the right hive. And you can see the bottom boxes are a little bit warmer than the top boxes. So that's a good sign. Just that I would confirm with the thermal. If you have the tool, you might as well use it. Well, that concludes episode 2 of of the honeybee season, installing the new bee packages. And next video, we'll be monitoring the packages as time goes on here and making sure the queens come out of their cages and everything continues forward in the right way. Make sure they stay fed up until they can get their own resources up and running. And that'll be that. So I hope you found this interesting or informative. Thanks for watching the Pharmacy Seeds Network.